the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Boo.
I feel like I have a voice now. Do you hear this?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, the clarity is.
Hello, everyone.
Aha.
Welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast.
We're at the episode 203.
203, and I'm Jim.
I'm the Lord Fu.
And we are here for you.
20 minutes of audio troubleshooting, baby. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny. I'm glad we have 3 cables.
Yeah, the redundancy. And I'm glad it's XLR cables. It's not like it's expensive.
No. But I'm glad we had 3.
And at this point, they're
we
old.
we were like chickens with our heads cut off there for a few minutes.
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening?
Primates.
Yeah. Bring back the words.
Yeah, throwing the wrench and the bones into the sky.
And what's weird is it wasn't that it didn't work.
Right.
We got audio out of it. It just didn't. It was very low audio.
Right. It's enough. It's that fuck you type of problem.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, it's not really broke.
Yeah. Let me check all of the little dials on the mixer.
Yeah.
Several times.
I've pressed many boops and beeps.
Uh-huh.
And, it's sort of there.
Yeah. What is happening?
Right. Like with your check engine light a couple weeks back with the Forester. It's like, well, it came on, so clearly there's something wrong.
Right.
And then it never happens again. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So
dude?
then it becomes a stored code and not an active code. And you're like, but why?
But what?
Yeah.
Every once in a while I hear this noise from somewhere in the house. But we've got a floodlight, a can light in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
Randomly out of nowhere. It's an LED.
Yeah.
And it does this fucking Silent Hill horror movie thing. It's the one that's right in front of the oven. And none of the other lights do it, and it started just before
Does it make sounds?
No,
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Straight out of Stranger Things.
Yeah, some Vecna shit.
Yeah.
It just started doing that horror movie flicker thing, and it's like, well, it's not even a real bulb. What is this? And it was the week before Piper had her friends over, and I'm like, I don't have time. If it was an incandescent or a CFL, I just replaced the bulb. But I'm like, those were the whole can light retrofit thing that I took parts from this to salvage and just used the LED insert and replaced the junction box thing. So it's like, one, why? Why is that doing that? 2, I have tons of other shit that actually need to be fixed. 3, that problem right there will make my house look like a janky fucking white trash house, which we may be.
Right.
But I don't need to show it off.
Right.
So
you don't want to broadcast
I think, I don't need to. There are flags all over my property, one of which is the dead brown lawn.
That you're going to spray paint green?
Right, that I'll Bob Ross at some point. But I don't need any other extra help for the white trashness.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. And I think the Friday before we had the small thing, I just got a stool, unplugged the thing, and I went, fucking, I'll solve this
some other day.
Probably when I turn 51.
Well, here's the deal about LEDs, right? They're supposed to last forever, right?
Right.
Like, it's very rare in electronics to see an LED just not stop working.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And what I've noticed is that in cars, for instance, in the early ones that had LEDs in the taillights and stuff, because that was really the first place they sort of used them was in the taillights.
Yeah.
You see like the third brake light or whatever, and there's like a couple that are out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it was like the durability factor wasn't there for like automotive use, but if you had it on a RAID on your desk, it would last forever. Or if it was something that was
part
of your computer or
a
charging station for your phone or whatever it is, that shit's going to last forever. But, you know, if it's
the ones where they tried to put them, multiple places in a car.
Yeah.
And then they've gone through that phase where now they do, it's like the light pipes. It's like, clearly,
and they're diffused.
Yeah, so we have too many LEDs going on in here, and the voltage irregularities keep blowing them. So we need to put the least amount of LEDs in here because the engineers are still like, why can't we put a bulb in here? So they've got molded bent plastic that they've got one LED beaming its shit into that does a fucking question mark or a whatever.
Now, for my car, I actually bought retrofit LEDs for it. And I bought some on Amazon, and they were called Oxidos. And I bought a set, and they look great. The output is amazing. The color, the light color is awesome. But my car has the auto stop functionality in it, and that was just really hard. So you roll up to a stop sign or a stoplight, the car shuts off, and then the car fucking kicks the system and restarts. Well, those Oxido headlights did not enjoy that at all because it was like every time the car would restart, you'd see them sort of go, and they would flicker.
No, the constant voltage fluctuations were not happy.
So I went through 3 pair. They replaced them for me twice. So the first pair just went because they were like, they're supposed to last 1 billion hours or whatever it is.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I just put these in like 4 months ago and they're dead. And they'd send me another set. And then those did the same thing. They sent me another set. But before the third set got put in my car, I bought another brand that were a little bit more expensive.
Just to see?
Just to see if it was like a design flaw or something, like maybe the electronics in a different set were more robust. Those have been perfect. I haven't had any problems. It's been many months since that. So now I just have this extra set of Oxido headlights in my garage
that you know are
that I know are suspect for my car, but I guess they're a backup or something.
Right.
You know.
So you've gotten more time out of the higher priced brand ones?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't even know what brand they were. Hikaru or Hikaru or something like that.
All made in Japan.
Yeah, or something. I don't know where they're probably made in China.
Right.
But they have lasted longer. So that tells me the power buffering
or filtering
or whatever it is
to be.
Yeah. They don't have this voltage drop. It's just killing the LEDs off. And so anyway, that's fascinating because in theory, if you put LEDs in your kitchen, those should last. I mean, I have fluorescent.
And it's an outlier. Yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 to 7 other can lights that are all the same retrofit modification.
Brand and everything.
Same brand, same everything, the same method of retrofitting an incandescent or normal size or normal can into an LED ballast style can light, LED, all the same, are all working without flaw. So I've got this one outlier. So my immediate, now that I've unplugged it and the party has passed, and of course we're staging another fucking party and the light's still out, my first inclination without getting up there was, with all the other things being equal, a rat or something has chewed something, maybe.
Yikes.
Because that's all I got, because functionally, all the other
just been a component that
and
went south.
It could be, but I'm like, I got nothing here, and I don't have the time to get up in the fucking hot ass sauna attic. Not a sauna that I would want to be in.
So wait, in order for you to swap those out, you have to get in the attic, or can you?
It would be, that one is a bit of a pain, but because it's at an angle enough, I think when I replaced it, it was just easier for me to get in the attic to get at the ballast box where I did the retrofitting of the Mike knows exactly what I'm talking about. There was because I think he did it in the house.
Were they fluorescent bulbs before? Or were
yeah.
They, okay.
There was like a CFL can ballast thing, and it. Oh, nice. I like that.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I like that feature. I don't know if you heard it, but the Amazon lady just told my son to go get his fucking dinner. Mike knows there was before they really started coming on heavy with can LED solutions. It was cheaper to go buy a what was it? It was like a whole set with the actual can itself, like the joist spanning galvanized tub and the LED, and essentially you were gutting it for just the wiring components and the LED insert. And rather than buying an LED solution separately, it was cheaper to buy this entire unit, gut it for the part you needed, chuck the galvanized can shit.
I remember you guys talking about that.
And then retrofit it that way.
Yeah.
I did that for all of my kitchen and dining room lights, and it's been flawless for years, except for this now one problematic one.
Well, then you kind of think, like, are any of the other ones going to go sour? Right, how long before they start dying?
It's been temperate, but really it's I'm waiting for a moment in time to get up in the attic to just like give it a good inspection. Like, please tell me I would prefer that it was mechanical.
Yeah.
Except for the part where I don't know if now that those LEDs cans are 3-4 years old, now I'm in a place where it's like, well, I hope I can find that model, because now I've got a situation where
can I even get that anymore?
Right, now I've got off-white, just a shade off-white.
Almond.
And just a shade more
Eggshell.
lumens. Yeah. Motherfucker.
Yeah, that's a problem. I hate that shit.
I think that's what I'm more worried about right now is not the expanse of the repair, but whether or not I can find a replacement.
The matching thing.
Right, the matching thing.
Well, in today's day and age, like, things come and go so fast.
Right, especially the LED stuff. Like, you don't need to do that whole rigmarole that I did to replace most CFL cans with LEDs now. They've got affordable drop-in replacements. It's you're not making trash.
I mean, I was going to say, speaking of that, now, I have 2 CFLs. I think that was the requirement, was to have 2 CFLs in my kitchen. So I have 2 CFL can lights, and the rest of them are incandescent floods.
Okay.
So all of the incandescent ones, which this kind of blows my mind, have been replaced just with bulbs that are LEDs.
Okay.
So screw in.
So they've got
bulbs.
the pigtail of a bulb.
It's literally just has it looks like a regular bulb,
okay.
and it just screws into the thing. So all of those are LEDs, and I just still have the CFL ones that were required by the code at the time.
Okay.
I haven't done it. So I haven't done anything with those. But what's funny to me is that those are now the most, they use the most power.
Oh yeah.
Those were the ones that used the least when the house was new.
Right.
And now they're the worst.
The CFLs?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Do you save bulbs?
I have.
Like as you replace stuff out?
Yeah, I like usually put them away somewhere.
Did you run? I mean, this happened a couple of weeks ago. I needed a bulb, I think, for something out here in the garage, and I was testing something. It was when I was doing the garage drive repair before I replaced this entire motor.
Oh yeah.
There was some random thing that I read that CFL interference can run impact or run counterintuitive to the signal being pushed by a garage door opener. So I'm like, fine. So I replaced the CFL bulbs. They were those twisty small miniature twisty CFLs
that are like the
like a corkscrew.
Yeah.
So I took those out of the garage door drive itself and put in 2 simple LED ones. But in rummaging through, like, I just need an LED because I can't have a CFL. I'm looking at my wife. Hashtag I love my wife. Has this archive of bulbs from probably, it was spanned probably almost 10 years of bulbs. And to see the aging and architecture of these monster fucking heat sinks on LED bulbs that had like the incandescent twist in.
Yeah.
Those things were gaudy as
some of them were pretty big.
They were huge.
Yeah.
Huge heat sinks. And
crazy.
Now they're like these little...
Yeah, because it's crazy because you can buy LED ones that have like Wi-Fi and shit in them that are smaller than that now.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I have some like Sylvania ones that I bought that are RGB, so you can change the color.
Yeah.
And they go in lamps on our nightstands, and they are just the size of a regular bulb.
Right.
But they have Wi-Fi and like... all this technology built into them.
They're all kinds of connected shit.
Yeah,
and they were these normal-sized bulbs with like 4 to 6 fucking super Cree LED things in order to get the brightness.
They're super bright.
Yeah, in order to get that out of there. And now you've got these like incandescent bulb size LEDs that like are pushing fucking solar flare caliber lumens,
and you can change the color, and you're and they like dim and all this shit.
Yeah, and they're like, "Where's the heatsink?" Well, it doesn't need one; they're just more efficient.
Yeah,
like,
you can control them with a
what's
phone.
the size? I'm gonna break this thing, and like, what's the size of it? I'm like, what is this? This thing's tiny.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, well, we just run a bunch of hot voltage through here, and you're good to go.
Now the CFLs I have in my kitchen are the long tube ones that like come down and they're square at the bottom.
Okay.
That's what I have in my kitchen.
We have one of those in our master bath, and that thing is like a Euro trance party.
Oh, it flashes.
Oh yeah, I feel like I think that thing fucking goes into strobe deadmau5 concert mode at least once every fiscal quarter, it feels like to me.
And then you're like, it's time to replace it.
God damn it. And then I look at it, and, it's like probably a 12-inch pie plate sized thing. And to get real size, and if I replace that with like a nice LED one of proportionate lumens, it's probably only going to be like a 6-inch light, and now I'd be looking at, my wife would never let me live that down. It would need, the entire ceiling would need to be painted because there would be this fucking donut of a yellow and white drywall, so it didn't need to be painted. And now we just go through the deadmau5 Euro trance concert.
Yeah.
And we live through it. I'm just trying to shit.
Yeah, exactly. Why do I feel like I've been roofied?
Yeah, fuck,
I'm
man.
taking a dump.
Someone trying to fuck me? What was in that White Claw? Goddamn.
It was Captain Hanky.
Yeah.
He was fucking you.
Yeah. God,
Jesus.
I feel like I'm already getting old. I'm like, is this an age thing? Am I losing my eyesight here? And this fucking CFL bulb in here,
so as you get older,
is just trolling me.
Your frame rate slows.
Yeah,
you just capture one.
Yeah. Is it? I'm like, am I that? What's going on? Is this an age thing?
Yeah.
No,
your processor's slowing.
Right. The CFL bulb is just fucking with me. My house wiring is fucking with me. The oven light is now fucking. It's just trying to give me the business whenever it can.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, I haven't even considered replacing those 2 CFLs in the kitchen because I don't know what to do with them. I mean, ideally putting in a couple of LEDs, but that means like getting up in the attic and actually doing what you were talking about earlier, which is replacing the can or because I don't think that they make a retro LED that fits in the CFL ballast. You know what I mean? That seems ludicrous.
Well, mine do. But it was just that the the wiring box inside the CFL ballast, that's part of what doesn't make it work. So I had to take the wiring ballast out of the entire product of the new thing and put that inside the existing CFL can.
Yeah.
And the light fixture itself had no problem fitting. It was going from, house Romex into a ballast that was wired and meant for something else, the CFLs, and whatever that fixture was, into the LED one. And
because it's a specialized connector on
right.
them.
And that's what it was. It was like, there's nothing that stops you from just taking a bunch of wire nuts. You could do it with fucking wire nuts. But it was like, the middle ground here is the ballast and all of the voltage regulation that would make an LED last the length of time that it's supposed to, without your janky white trash wire nuts, into a nice happy pigtail.
Yeah.
So I got that, except for this one thing, and now it's a dance party. If I plug that thing in, it's a Euro dance party in front of the oven.
That sounds fun.
Great. I'm just trying to make fucking cookies.
What? Yeah, I was going to say, what meal goes well with that flash?
Yeah. Pot gummies and chocolate chip cookies. What's going on?
You need to put like one of those signs like epilepsy warning.
Yeah, coming into the house.
Sorry, kids.
Are you sensitive to light flashes?
Stay out of the kitchen.
Yeah, don't go into the kitchen. Do you have seizures?
You will if you spend any time in my kitchen.
Stare at the oven light.
Yeah. And get roofie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Party times.
Yeah. So what's happening?
My son, we talked about this at the tail end of last week, but I thought it was interesting. So Xander started his freshman year Tuesday.
He's a big kid now.
Freshman year of high school. He's big boys. Venus and I were on our walk the other day, and we were talking about like the sad dad or parental anxiety of having another child, like going into high school. Like here we go.
Yeah. And
we were talking about the nervousness or where we were at on the scale of Xander starting high school compared to Piper starting high school. And I said, for me, it's a lot less about nervousness or anxiety for Xander going from here to here. Because he's always just approached me as like, okay, here we go. And I think certainly for Piper, it was like, here is my first child, and going from here to here, and new parent, man, I don't know how this is going to work. Like, how's relationships going to work for her?
Isn't that sort of like normal parenting for the first kid in general?
Sure, right. Yeah. And whatever the anxiety is from your when I say like our general how we work through our own high school experience, which I'll get to. So, and lived that through Piper. Like, does this nervousness translate to her? Or, I hope. And what do you convey, and what do you just let your child experience on their own, as far as just rip and tear? Good luck, and we'll talk about it.
Band-Aids off, go.
Yeah, when you get there. And I said, really, certainly we had that for Piper, but for Xander, your lapel, Mike. Ta-dow. Not that it's going to matter, because at this point...
Kapow.
Yeah. For Xander, not really concerned about that. He seems to have a good grasp on it, and Piper did well enough, then she'll walk him through anything that he may have. I said, where that needle has moved for me and transitioned to was... Now I have a child that has gone all the way through it. And now I've got one left, and I have less apprehension about his first year and more apprehension of how fast in which we'll get through this to his fourth year, and then it's over.
Yeah.
So,
is it ever really over?
No, but the parental anxiety of I'm not concerned about this first year at all.
Mm-hmm.
I am anxious to hold on to and concerned with how I approach this. This other one went way fast. Like super fast.
Right. As they get older, it just goes quicker.
You throw in COVID in there, and we talked about that for a while, and it was like how that had an impact, and it stretched or lengthened the feeling of the 4 years of high school for Piper. But that aside, it is shit. Here we go. Like we just lived through this, and man, you try and take the lessons learned and we'll hit these events, and he gets a lot of course. He's gonna, we've approached a number of things like, when you need help, you get ahead of it. Be sure to be checking email for notifications and your lessons plans. And the earlier you see something and have questions, the better, so that we can approach those things. We're pretty wide open for, extracurricular and digital time, but we place some guardrails that we didn't necessarily do for Piper because she was unique and didn't necessarily have like a video game pastime.
Yeah, they're
thing.
different.
Right.
Yeah.
So we said, here, summer's over. We need you. A thing that we conveyed rock solid to him was our expectation as parents in schooling is 4.0 effort. Whatever you get as a result of your 4.0 effort, we'll always be accepting of that. But we need you to, I know, it's super annoying, fucker. But we need you to put out that amount of effort.
Yeah.
And whatever the grades show in the end, as long as we see the effort then we're good. We're golden. And if at some point we see you starting to, we won't accept coasting either. He seems to have a little bit more of a academic gift. I will say he's a lot of math and scholastic stuff seems to come a little bit more easier to him. And we said, if you start to breeze through stuff because it comes easy to you, and then you start clawing back that time in order to do hobby or pastime stuff that's not scholastic related, unacceptable to us. Yeah, we want you to take that time and read or go even harder in some sort of scholastic thing.
Like Super Mario.
What?
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Because use that talent.
Yeah.
Use that talent for somewhere. Like, please don't game the system. If you can do 20 hours of work in 5 hours because your brain capacity is just, you're a fucking genius.
Yeah.
I'm all for that, but that doesn't give you 15 hours to fuck off. Like, don't coast.
Yeah.
We want you to bust your balls. That's our expectation. And if that doesn't happen, well, then that's okay. But,
Yeah.
So those type of level settings didn't necessarily get spoken as much for Piper. But it wasn't that she didn't understand where we stood. Like, she still had the general understanding. You do go as hard as you can, and we'll accept grade letters for what they are. It's okay, So first day was Tuesday. He's
already graduated.
Right,
It's over.
Good job, buddy. They have a super late start now, which is annoying to me.
Yeah, they apparently decided that high school kids need more sleep.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah. So they start later.
The grade school kids go to school early. They start at like 7:30. And
he starts walking at 8.
Yeah.
Which makes my daughter jealous because she didn't have that problem. But Venus left for work, and as he was getting ready to leave, I walked him out, and I walked him out here to the front. I'm like, well, you have a good day, take it in stride. He didn't seem to be apprehensive, bothered, any anxiety. He got right down the driveway between the two cars, and he got, like I was telling Piper and Venus, he made a 1.5 step stride towards that way, towards Silverado. And I had tons of dad jokes ready as he was still up here at the door. Like, be sure to know which direction and Wood Creek, blah, blah, blah. And fucking, I didn't make my dad joke. And he ended up almost going the wrong way. And he took 1 stride, 1.5, turned left. And I went, Wood Creek's to the left, buddy. And he went, yeah, I know, but I was so used to going the other way. I'm like, yeah, I got it, but just so we're clear, your school's the other way. And we had a good laugh, That's and funny. I told him I had dad jokes ready, but he's like, God damn it, Dad. And then I told my daughter, and then I told Venus, and now I'm telling all of you. So
That's funny.
He almost fucked up because I thought for a moment. Because he was going to meet up with a bunch of his a bunch of his friends that all live within the region, and they were going to walk the rest of the way to school together. But he has one friend that lives.
Maybe he would have
right. Been, So I was. That's why I didn't say anything because I was given the opportunity. Well, maybe he was just going to loop back to then come forward to meet up friend, and I let him. He set his own hook. He's like, I was thinking I was going to school the other way. I'm like, bitch.
Got him.
I got him.
That's funny.
But his calmness was completely polar opposite to what you and I had talked about last week. I'm like, I say we, but me specifically, going from 8th grade at Clear Creek, rural boonies, to Bear River, which was hundreds of kids, whereas there were less than 20 in my graduating 8th grade class.
Yeah.
So this was hundreds of kids on a campus. I had every expectation of every trope in our age bracket that you can imagine was going to happen to me, and I was scared shitless. Like, freshman, I'm going to get pantsed somewhere because freshman, or I'm going to get canned, tossed in a trash can because freshman. I was so scared shitless.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to go to school. Like, I did not want. I was like, who wants to be a part of this fucking hazing? Not me.
Trying to remember where the trash cans are so you can avoid that area.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like I spent the good first day, just trying to okay, so I have to go
eye contact.
I have to go here, and I have to change classrooms. So that's already scaring the shit out of me. Like, I don't know. I was in one classroom. I had one teacher.
So your junior high, you didn't change classrooms?
No, it was one classroom.
Oh, wow.
One teacher.
Oh.
Taught all subjects. So the whole concept of academia at Bear River compared to where I came from
totally different.
Was completely different.
Yeah.
And then you had all of the social anxieties of new blood.
Yeah.
And the hazing shit that whatever movie or show you've watched or word of mouth thing from some other friend who had an older person who's already graduated making the hazing jokes about be sure to wear a belt because they don't pants kids that wear belts.
What are you looking at, freshman?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting for someone to just do I made eye contact because someone's wearing a shirt that fuck, was that a singer? Shit, I look too long. What are you looking at, shithead?
Yeah.
What's up, freshman? Think you'll fit in that trash can?
No.
Where's...
I gotta go.
Oh, God, pucker.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I felt that too.
To the best of my knowledge, Xander nor Piper really had any of that apprehension.
I feel like today's high school kids, for the most part, are better about that stuff.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, my kids certainly didn't seem to be impacted. You know what I'm curious about, though, is does that apprehension for our age bracket, because obviously our kids don't seem to have the same phasing as we did, is that the same sort of experience for young women, ladies, that the boys have?
No, I don't think it is.
Really? You don't think so? Venus has never talked about it,
seen. No.
but we've never really.
I've never seen or heard of that.
Like, do you think it's a dude thing?
I think it is. I think
like
it's
the whole your mom joke stuff. Women don't really have that.
I guess not. Yeah.
Maybe it's only a boys thing, like a territorial thing that the boys have, where it's like the freshmen are going to.
I got some hair on my lip and some testosterone now, so get in the trash can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
I wonder.
I mean, there were dudes in my high school that were just complete fucking assholes, right? Just
for
no reason.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
right? So this isn't a fantasy either. Now, I didn't experience anything outside of the occasional, like, ribbing. I didn't get canned.
No, I didn't either.
There was one.
I saw someone who did.
There was
a couple times.
There was a yearbook staging photograph where I did get held upside down but it was a stage photograph. So that did happen. And I was okay with it because it was
part of the joke.
It was part of a joke.
Yeah.
But at no point was I actually canned.
Right.
There were certainly the not catcalling, but the heckling.
Yeah.
The heckling and hazing comments of a senior to me as a freshman. Like, whatever. Everyone probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. All that shit.
Yeah. People from our generation probably understand more than current generation. Although Chandler had some stuff in high school that happened. Yeah, a little bit. He did.
But I don't know if that's ever translated. I'd be curious if you're a young lady or woman that had that experience. Let us know.
I think it just depends on how many assholes you have.
Yeah,
in your
that too.
Classes.
And it wasn't as bad as I had made it out to be in my mind, obviously. But I have to wonder how that would have perhaps molded my first year if it was a lot more accepting and open without the tropes of freshman oppression,
right,
and demonization that perhaps our kids have. Who's to say?
Maybe they don't have that.
Maybe
you should ask Xander about it.
I mean, I asked him how his day was coming both ways, but I'll ask him specifically.
I mean, not that
later.
You're trying to put any fear in him that shouldn't be there,
right? So,
but just as a curiosity,
it'll be hard for me to
word it in the right way.
Phase it, phrase it so that way I'm not trying to lead him into anything.
Hey, by the way, when I was in high school,
I always had to worry about getting canned by a senior. Do you have that worry? And then all of a sudden
now he's worried about it.
Right. Now I've seeded the mind.
Yeah. No, you don't want to do that.
Right.
You don't want to ruin his.
And that's why I kind of just have a good day.
Yeah.
Great day. And then when he came home, I asked how his day was. Oh, it was pretty good. So I didn't, I don't want to steer him into any apprehension, but it generally it sounded like he had a great couple first days.
Well, this is what I'm struggling with because it is August 10th. Yeah. So he started yesterday or Monday?
He started Tuesday.
Okay,
yesterday.
So yesterday. So the 9th. We're back to school on the 9th of August.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Yeah, it feels...
My mind is blown.
It does, because usually for us up in Nevada County, we would get...
You would go to the beginning of September or whatever.
Nevada County Fair, yeah. It was that, whatever, the Memorial Day?
Yeah.
It was like...
A 3-day weekend, and then you start school typically.
You would be starting with plus or minus a week relative to that holiday.
Is it Labor Day, I think?
Because going to the Nevada County Fair was generally like...
Right at the end.
Like peak... last hurrah of the summer where like you got to see finally like all of friends going into the next school year, like and like fuck around and your last shenanigans or whatever you're gonna do, and then we jump back into school a little bit later with whatever hoo-ha memories that you had from the fair. And then it was
the state fair is a similar thing because they always try to be towards the end of summer.
Yeah.
And everyone's starting earlier, so they're sort of scrambling with their fair dates.
Oh.
You know, like, well, if we start the fair and the kids are back in school, no one's going to be here, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's that.
That's a problem. But it's just a weird, mentally, it's weird to think like the high school's already started back up and my wife has started back. She started today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the kids are back in class tomorrow for her because they were doing setup today and training.
Staging shit.
Yeah. So it just feels super early. It just feels really early.
And what it does is, I can't remember if it feels like they get out earlier, but when I look at like the rest of the school year, just from like trying to have a recollection of how Piper's last year went, it feels like they've got more of the 4-day, half-day kind of things, and a little bit longer breaks. Like there's a Thanksgiving and a Christmas and a spring, and then there's some other thing. It feels like they've got more breaks.
Well, aren't they getting out at like the end of May?
I think, yeah.
Because I mean, my graduation was on my birthday, which is June 15th.
Middle of May. Ish. Sounds about right. Maybe.
So that maybe they are getting out way earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of, the timing feels like I can't.
Why would they shift the whole school year?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a couple of weeks.
And he gets out at 3:20.
Yeah, because they start so late.
Right. So he's, that's like an hour later. Piper would have been home.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is Shan was saying I forget what time they started last year, 8, and now they're starting at 7:30. So she was like, so I have to start earlier. I'll get home earlier, but I'm starting earlier. That's
when he has like Wednesdays or some sort of administrator creative, like a slush time on Wednesdays.
Okay.
So he leaves here at 9. Today, this morning, he left at 9.
Wow, that's late.
So I'm like, okay.
I better call the school and find out if that's real.
Yeah, what? Such a weird... I'm all for teachers having whatever time they need to prepare for classes, but like, Christ, that's nuts. Starting class after 9 a.m.?
You would think they would start that next week. You need a prep day already. The school just started Tuesday.
And Monday wasn't a school day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you started this on not even a full week.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a holiday.
No.
So, and then 2, you're already throwing in the truncated day.
Yeah. Right away.
Fuck, you guys had all summer. I think you can skip the first week needing an administrative day, maybe, ish.
We're taking roll today to figure out who you all are, and tomorrow just come in at 9.
Yeah. That's
cool. We're good.
Yeah.
I need prep. I need prep time.
Yeah.
Well, what's amazing to me is like the employees sometimes, like my wife is expected to do training and stuff that's not like on school, like unpaid time. They don't.
What?
So yeah, they're telling her, oh, you just take this training like at home. And it's like, that, what?
No. Really?
Yeah. Sometimes it depends.
Is it a job requirement?
Some of them, yeah. It's weird, dude.
That feels weird to me.
They do that shit all the time. Here's one of the things that really burnt me about the district. Shan was like, oh, I got a raise. I'm like, oh, cool. But then I have to work these other couple of days. And they added a couple of days in the school year. And I'm like, what the? That's not a raise. You literally are working more days to get the extra pay.
Oh, so it wasn't that
No.
in addition to getting the raise, you had to work extra days. The raise was you working extra days.
However many hours you're going to work, you're going to make that much more. Well, yeah, I'm just working more hours to get... That doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's
I'm like, your union must just suck.
That's some fucking Darth Vader, pray I don't alter the agreement further bullshit.
Yeah. I thought that was the most bizarre thing. I'm like... Every time she'll say something, I'm like, yeah, but what about that raise where you got the raise, but then you had to work extra days to get the raise?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, that doesn't makes no sense. Yeah, you're getting more money, but you're also working more time.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
You didn't get a...
That's just called working more.
What? That doesn't jive. Like, also, you're getting more PTO. Well, that's because I'm earning it because I'm working more days.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a raise and more PTO. Well, that doesn't work that way.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is like they have what they call I don't know what it stands for, CPI days.
Okay.
They only get a certain amount of CPI, and it's like 3 or 4 CPI days per year.
Okay.
And that is all the vacation time you get.
As a administrator,
as a teacher, or an instructional aid. What do you
instructional aid?
Instructional aid.
Oh, there you go.
Instructional aid. Listen to me.
Hey,
listen up. Instructional aid. So you only get X number of days. And so you have to, if you know you have things that you need to use them for, you better save them up. It's weird. So you don't just be like, oh, I've got a vacation. I'm taking 5 days. They're like, no, you only got 3 or 4 CPI days. So
is she a full-time employee or a part-time employee?
I think she's full-time based on hours, but it's not full-time like 40 hours a week.
I gotcha.
So I think, because she gets benefits and all that stuff. But yeah, it's sometimes
what a
bizarre.
Peculiar position.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, she's in the class with the teacher at the same hours and all that stuff. Yeah. One of the things that's happening with them is that because she's a special ed teacher's aide, they have to deal with a lot of medical things. But she's not a nurse. She's not a trained nurse. So their pay is based on some of the things they have to do in class, like cleaning up kids when they go to the bathroom. So they get extra pay for some of that stuff. They don't get any extra pay to do nurse type things that they're not trained to do. But there is a position that no one has. So this is one of the things that is happening now. There's a position that none of the aides have obtained. My wife has been there for, I don't even know, like a long time.
Okay.
So they have this position that none of the aides have obtained because it's got a medical thing in it.
Okay.
That none of them have.
Okay.
But yet they're doing this thing already.
Oh.
So none of them are, they're not getting paid at that higher level, but they're still doing the thing.
I see.
But no one has been hired in that level for whatever reason.
Because everyone who's currently employed can do the task, but doesn't have the certification to qualify for the position.
Right. Because they're not nurses.
And why would they hire such a person to pay them more money?
Right.
When you can lean on.
Exactly. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's typical employer fuckery.
Yeah, so there's that kind of thing happening, which I think is fascinating. So, anyway.
Right.
Here is some dirty laundry. Enjoy it.
Ugh.
But anyway, so yeah, that's fascinating stuff. Now, speaking of school, my daughter is leaving for grad school, and it's kind of, I think the distance and the amount of time she'll be gone is starting to weigh on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the fact that my son moved out and then like several weeks later, now she's going to move out.
Right.
And it's just like, it's like kind of overwhelming to a certain extent. Like it's hitting me because we're driving her there this weekend.
It's starting to punch you in the feels.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do feel good about getting her car ready for her. You know, we talked about that. Getting her car ready for her and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, it's kind of unnerving.
Perhaps the compression of all of the things that you have to do and the amount of time in which you have to do it may ease your burden once you take off on that road trip. But I do not envy you that drive home as you and your wife begin to like commiserate as you check the review mirror and the hours drive home as you reflect upon your
the 9 to 10 hour drive home. Yeah.
As you reflect upon your all-star parentage.
I mean, we have done this before. I mean, it's not the first time.
Right.
It's just that now it's, instead of it being 6.5 or 7 hours, it's 9 or 10 hours. You know, so it just feels more, it's more heavy. It feels heavier.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's grad school, there's definitely some weight there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not lost on me, but I try not to get too up or down about it. Like, I try to be pretty even keel person in general, so I don't, you know, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't like internally just like, whoa, wow, this is happening.
Yeah, I had a very superficial conversation because Piper just got back from like a trip with Venus's mom, like a graduation gift, and she like turned to burn 24 hours and then went camping with her friends, and we were talking about Xander's first day and the joke about him turning the wrong way almost, and her Sierra College starts the low 20s of this month. I think a week and a half from now. And I kind of just same very superficial conversation that I had. I kind of relayed what Venus and I had told Xander. I kind of packaged in a way where I was sort of delivering it to her, but with the nice little bow that you're calling your own shot now. You're in control of your own scholastic destiny. Like, the time you put in here at school is less about preparation for getting to your next year of school and more about where you want to go for an occupation or employment.
Right.
So your what you put in here is a direct driver towards where you go. Next step that is further from where we're providing shelter. And she gets it, but it's weird to be having those two conversations, one for Xander about we need you here because you've got 4 years to figure out XYZ, and also be Piper where it's okay, you've done XYZ. This next step is you, and what you put in is what you get for you on a much more personal level, not trying to meet the expectations of mom and dad
and the school system.
But what you put in here is what you are using to build you and where you go.
Yeah.
I can only, and you're 2 tiers above that. You've got the college one knocked out. So Melly she's built what she wants out of her college career per se.
She's got her BA now.
Right. Yeah. And now she is stacking on the next one for her occupation and go forward career with grad school. So now it's like, I feel you. The weight is there.
And it's not that I'm worried that she can't handle it. I know.
Sure.
I know she can do it and she's smart.
Right.
It's just like, shit.
Here, yeah. Shit.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's very crazy. Like, I can't imagine. My wife and her are super close. I'm not saying I'm not. But I can't imagine my wife she's probably going to lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. I just like, I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
And then you're just like looking at the watch. Like, I just need to figure out how the car gets done. And then we've got to leave and pack the car by here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like looking like, okay, I got 2 more work days and then load up cars and go.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days of setup and trying to find bits and pieces that we need when we're up there.
Right.
And then see ya.
Like I said, yeah, you'll be in a lot more of like dad prep.
Yeah.
Helping make your umbrella and nest mode.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a desk to put together and a bed to put together.
Right. So you almost get a little bit of that distraction.
Yeah.
And then Shan being much more pea in a pod with Melly and like making sure that she's mentally there for whatever she needs.
Yeah.
Is going to be a different distraction for Shan, but the moment you guys get in the car,
I know.
You will no longer be able to be and Shan.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine.
Well, and it's weird because we've done this already. Like I said, we've done this already. I mean, every year that we had, or every time that we had to move her back to school, her freshman year into the dorm, her sophomore year into her apartment with 3 roommates. And then she's been home for 2 years, like doing Zoom.
And 2, you guys are stacking Data's, getting his 2.0 opportunity. With Nicole. Like, regardless of Melly, and she's on her next step. So you're going to have that, and then Data is also in his next step, and you're gonna have a lot of travel time to.
Well, and the thing I know. Well, the thing of it is, it's like a lot of the stuff like around the house that I think about is like, here's X, Y, and Z projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I can't start that stuff now because we'll be moving Melanie to school, or Chandler's moving out. Chandler's moving out, and then Melanie's moving to school. And it's like, once this weekend happens, then I can start doing these things that I have been putting off for a long time.
Yeah.
Or it would make more sense for me to start doing those things. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, you got to take a weekend or 2 to feed up. As soon as you guys get back, we're having the...
Yeah, I know. It's the next weekend, I think, right?
Yeah, it's next weekend.
Yeah, I told Shanna, are we going? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have anything else to do.
Yeah. Fucking. One's moved out, the other's moved out. Fucking.
It's weird.
We'll have a weekend to fucking get each other stuck in the attic.
Now, speaking of that, I don't know if you've ever done this before.
Probably.
I was booking our hotel.
Okay.
And at the end, he was like, "Oh, would you mind? Are you interested in for 500 extra points? Because it's through like IHG, which is like Holiday Inn Express."
Okay.
Talking to somebody about I'm like, sure, for 500 points, I'll talk to the guy. So it was the IHG Vacation Club.
All right.
And they're like, it's $249, and you can book anytime through like, I don't know, August 2023.
Okay.
And when you book, you get $249 back in cash, but you have to sit through this 2-hour thing, which is a sales pitch, right?
Okay, right.
But you get 3 days and 4 nights at one of these locations, and there's like 8 or 9 locations.
All right.
And I'm like, I don't know, it's, maybe not. And then he's like, well, I'll do it for $199. And I'm like, and first of all, you're paying for it up front, but then when you book it, and it's all in writing, when you book it, you get the money back. So the stay is essentially free.
Okay.
For 2 hours of your time.
All right.
And I'm like, sure.
This is for Oregon?
No, this is just I already booked the rooms for Oregon separately.
Oh, okay.
But this was like on the back end of that phone call.
Okay.
And so I was like, talk to Shannon a little bit. Sure. So one of the places was Tahoe.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck, 3 nights in Tahoe? And I'll sit through a 2-hour thing and say no and see you later.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you did.
Well, you buy the thing and then you book whatever date you want.
Oh, okay.
So I did that. I bought the thing and then I'm going to book a date at some point. We're going to have to figure out a time where it's good for us to go.
Were they going to take a 2-hour chunk of your time? Did they already do that?
No, they take it when you go. When you go on the stay,
okay.
then you have a 2-hour window somewhere in there that you have to do this thing.
Okay.
So, have you ever done that?
No.
Never ever? Has anyone approached you about it?
I've been I want to say we've been abroad somewhere. I'm drawing a blank as to where. And it was like the timeshare thing. It was essentially
it's a vacation club thing.
Sit down and do you want to talk? It might have been in like a Maui thing because I think Keith and Kristen did it one time.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have been voluntary. It might have been someone that handed us a flyer or someone at an existing timeshare where they pick something up and they took the time.
Yeah.
We have between Venus's family, her dad's side, they have like running timeshare credits at various places. So we personally have never had to. We don't have any timeshares.
Right.
We have her dad has given us time somewhere, and I certainly and positively could not. Even no matter how good the deal was, I would have been like, no, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but no, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, because
I'm totally not interested.
And if someone on my way in the hotel had managed to corral me into a session, I'd have sat there for 2 hours. Sure. But then the moment it came to like, and would you be interested in doing something like this, sir? No, thanks. I would never have entertained
volunteering to do it.
Volunteering to get even that far. But as I preface that, that's because I'm also in a position where we have access to timeshare opportunities.
Yeah.
Without ever having to be close to a pitch.
Well, I get them from like Hilton Honors or whatever, and every once in a while you're like, oh, I mean that's a pretty good deal. I still got to sit through the thing. I mean, but like 3 nights or wherever, and whatever city they want to send you to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty good deal. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
And in this case, it was like pretty much it's free to you except getting there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And there's more than just Tahoe. There's like New Orleans and like Myrtle Beach and someplace in Florida. There's like 9 destinations you can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I would probably, if I wasn't going to go to New Orleans because I've always wanted to go there, it'd just be take 3 nights in Tahoe.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And a lot of that for me, I mean, there's multiple facets of that.
Yeah.
Certainly that we already have access to it is one. Socially inept is another one. But the other one is my time is already so like jammed that fiscally that if I were to entertain like, wow, that's a really good deal at X $100 a year for access to this opportunity.
Yeah.
The way I use my current PTO and vacation opportunities anyway, it would be literally me just saying, well, here's $300 a year and I'm going to flush it down the toilet. I just flat out don't use enough vacation time. It's like one of those, it's certainly a flaw.
Yeah.
I get
I do too.
So
I'm bumping up against my limit right now.
Right. I would be staring at so many factors and one would be like, well, why would I disrespect this person's time. Like, I'm already going into it no, because I know that there are X number, multiple factors that would put me in a no. One of which is I wouldn't want to listen to someone try and sell me shit anyway.
Right.
A salesman. But fiscally, I would just be like, I could take that $300 and go buy a bunch of lottery tickets.
Yeah. Well, in this case, it was $199, and then when you book it, and then
but you're going to get it back.
Then you get it
and
back.
I get it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm like, oh, and all I have to do is go to this 2-hour thing and then say no at the end.
Right. And for you, like for your type of person, this is who doesn't have timeshares. You can use that as an excuse to be like, I'm going to take vacation and I get this for free.
Yeah.
For 2 hours of my time.
Yeah.
It's an excuse for me to leverage PTO that I'm not going to use.
That's $100 an hour.
Right. It'll be fine. Shit, I could give 2 hand jobs and we're fucking.
It's $99.50 an hour.
Covered. Whereas me in my position, I'd be like, well, I'm not gonna do that, and I have access to timeshares, and I'm not fucking using it anyway.
Right.
What I need is someone to be unplugging me from work for some excuse to get me to use timeshares that I have access to. And to convince me that we don't have something else that we need the money for to be spent on something else more important than me.
Right. Right. Yeah. Oh, I know.
We're at time.
And I just thought I'd ask.
I know. The short answer is no.
Okay. All right.
But but you're taking the opportunity. You're going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's Tahoe, dude.
Yeah, Tahoe. I love Tahoe.
Do me a favor. One of those nights, let's make it a snowboard party.
Oh.
And then.
So you're telling me to go up there in the wintertime?
I want you to do this so that way. So that way I have an excuse. No, here we go. There we go. I've got a plan.
Oh.
So you do it.
Yeah.
And whatever time window you do it, I'll have Venus earmark whatever timeshare opportunities we have. So that way, that's how we go snowboarding.
Oh, I see.
So we don't have to squat on your hotel time. Move over, Shan. You're hogging the bed.
Man, this king bed just got small.
I know. There's like 4 of us in here. Jim, you want to sit in the chair? God damn.
Who's poking me?
God. Wow. Hi. Anyway, there you go. Yeah. So we could rope this into you're my escape clause in getting Venus to use timeshare stuff that we have.
There you go.
For your freebie shit.
All right.
And on that note,
I just want you to wash your hands. Would you do it?
Return the cart.
And wash your ass for sure.
Wear the mask.
Check your oil, Tony.
Get the shot.
Don't forget to vote.
Yeah, and that's it.
And do the kindness.
And we'll catch you next week.
Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.